Now, I will say this, guys. Um, I'm broadcasting on YouTube consistently, but nobody's on YouTube. And because of that, I don't know if I'm going to continue. Now, I will say this, guys. I don't know if I'm going to continue the YouTube. But we'll see. Originally, we created the YouTube because of TikTok going away. Well, right now it seems that TikTok may not. So that's the reason why I'm continuing to broadcast on YouTube. But let's just see how it works out. Um, I am trying to bring in a schedule, which I mentioned before, about having time to recruit on TikTok in the evening times. What I might end up doing, I might end up having to take a day back inside the Zoom. So whether I take it off on Monday, take it off on Friday, or take it off right in the middle of the week, maybe on a Wednesday, I may have to take back one of my days um, inside of the Zoom, which gives me time to go maybe at least once a week. I can go live on TikTok, but I'm still working those details out. But as of right now, it's kind of fleeting to kind of go to YouTube. The only reason why I'm staying consistent is I'm going to keep doing it until there's a final decision on TikTok. Because I don't want to have to stop the YouTube and then go back to doing it. Even though nobody, I think only one or two people are coming on YouTube. Even as I'm telling people on TikTok, to go to YouTube, they're still not doing it. And I have some people that's trying to broadcast on both. People on TikTok are okay with listening. Isn't that crazy also? They can't see any of the slides, but they would still rather sit there and listen to it like a podcast, and they're not getting the full presentation because they can't see what we're talking about. But people are still lazy enough to say, okay, I'll just stay on TikTok and listen. So broadcasting on YouTube is not a success at this point, but we'll figure it out day by day. We'll see if we're going to continue doing it. But at this point, there really is no purpose to it. So we'll figure it out. Um, Now there is, if I was to, if I was to transition, I could go back to the way I broadcasted on LinkedIn, and instead of broadcasting to LinkedIn, I could broadcast to TikTok. I could do a third party broadcast to TikTok, which I never thought about that until now. So it's possible that I can broadcast Zoom on TikTok, but we'll see. Well, like I said, it's a work in progress. Trying to find the best way to do this. But with that said, let's go. I think we're live on both. We will see. We will see. We will see. We will see. Um, can't get my mouse to work. All right, first thing, let's look at the price action. We're currently watching the narrative. We're watching the dominoes of this correction. The markets fell. Uh, you can see over here to the right that the low for the day yesterday was 41,300. The day before, yesterday, the markets fell all the way to 41,100. So that's kind of what we're looking at, that 41,100. From that point, we only need another 600 points. We need the Dow Jones to go down to about 40,500. If the Dow Jones goes down to 40,500, we have a correction. Right now, the markets have retraced back up to like somewhere around 41,300. So currently, we need about 800 points. We need the Dow Jones to drop about 800 points. And if that happens, then we have a correction in all three markets. So now let's go and see if the markets are going to give it to us. What is the sentiment of the participants? Trump is still, having his tariff war. Canada and the EU have responded by setting their own tariffs, and Trump has already said, I believe it was yesterday, that he's basically just going to reciprocate their tariffs. And I've already explained this, that this is going to be a back and forth. I'm going to do this if you do that. None of that matters. Words are not real until action is followed up. So believe me, there's going to be a whole lot of peacocking. But we only want to kind of watch to see what is currently being implemented. I believe that most of the tariffs are on pause until April 2nd. So that's kind of what you're focused on, right? Just a whole bunch of flaring and flexing, and none of it matters. People can talk about what they're going to do. If you do this, I'm going to do that. None of it matters. Let the 99 percenters deal with the speculation. We're patient. We're watching. We're wondering. We're waiting to see what is actually going to be implemented. Like I said, yesterday was not really a bearish day. One of the things that we wanted to talk about of why the markets were kind of cooled off was because of the CPI report. The CPI report came out yesterday. Let's go ahead and look that up. "23 hours ago, inflation rate eased to 2.8 in February." Now, this is echoing. Let me go ahead and share this. This is echoing what Powell said earlier this week. The economy's fine. Stop listening to the news. This is what I do for a living. This is my whole purpose. Listen to me when I tell you that the market is fine. The economy is fine. And even our inflation rate came down. They expected it to increase. Check this out. They expected it to increase from 3.3% to 3.2%. Well, I'm sorry, let me clarify. They expected it to increase 0.3%. But it actually went down from 3.2 to 2.8. And that's significant. 3.2 to 2.8, that's huge. That the inflation has come down. But as I said yesterday, that's not what we're focused on. And nobody even found that to be bullish, because people already know what to expect next month. People already know the causal sequence of all of this is happening right now in the tariff war. Inflation is gonna go back up next month. But what this proves is that through all of this going on right now, going through a correction, going through the tariff wars, it still is not affecting the current markets and the current economy. It's only going to impact the future. the future economics. So this was just a hiccup, kind of a retracement. Today we should get the market normalizes, goes back to the correction direction. Like I say, either today or tomorrow we may get that. But what we're looking for something more so that's going to be a catalyst for the markets to kind of turn around and go back to what's called normalcy, where it'll finish giving us our correction. So I don't really see anything. We're going to go to the news to see if we can find anything. I didn't find anything yesterday. Did you guys see the sales pitch that Trump had? It's so funny that obviously being the president of the United States, you have eyes and ears on every single move you make. Somebody's always watching. Um, so somebody got a glimpse of Trump's notes, I guess you can call it. But he was given notes for that Tesla commercial on the White House lawn. Now, I did want to mention something else. We already know, like right, like we can go down the list. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go down the list of everything that I have predicted for Tesla. Let's go down the list of everything I've taught you about Tesla. Number one, right after that gesture, I said that every Jewish financial leader was going to basically blacklist Elon Musk. No more financing, no more credit, no more leverage. And we're going to get into that in a minute. I just found out some new information that I'd never considered. But we're going to go over that in a minute. The second thing that I said was because I brought in the Russian oligarchs who are like 75% Jewish. So some of the corporations who have Jewish leadership or just people who just don't want another World War II, they're also going to start kind of boycotting and distancing themselves from Elon Musk and Tesla. You have things like Canada that puts 100% tariff on every Tesla vehicle. Tesla had plans to do a gigafactory in Mexico, a gigafactory in Europe, basically in Germany, and some kind of a raw material deal in Australia. All three of those projects are dead. Germany, is completely against what he did because it's illegal to do that gesture. So Germany and Austria completely distance themselves from Elon Musk and Tesla. Mexico's president is Jewish. So she definitely canceled that gigafactory in Mexico. And that gigafactory was planned for the last 3 years. They had broken ground on that gigafactory in Mexico. Gone. They got approved. They already had an original gigafactory in Germany. The European Union approved a second gigafactory. Both of them are gone. Germany, Tesla sales have dropped 76%. And it's not just Germany, the entire Europe. Tesla sales have dropped 76% in Europe. I already told you there's a 100% tariff in Canada. People are setting Tesla vehicles on fire. Current Tesla owners are either selling their Tesla, the Tesla leases are being dropped off at the front door, They are snatching off the Tesla logo on their vehicles. They're putting bumper stickers on their Tesla vehicles that basically say, we do not support Elon Musk. We bought this vehicle before the gesture. So he's getting it from every side. Tesla has gone down 55% since the gesture. And what else did I say? All of these things I predicted, guys. I also said that eventually the shareholders of Tesla are going to ask for his resignation. And it's probably going to be on no confidence. He does not have the focus to be able to manage Tesla anymore. He has conflicts of interest now that he's on Doge. So that's one of the things I showed you yesterday, that an insider basically said that they're focusing on removing Elon Musk from that position of CEO. I also said that crypto was going to fall alongside Tesla. And sure enough, crypto has fallen about 28% since the election peak or the election spike. So Tesla's not doing well. But here's the next thing. Through all of that bad news that Elon is going through, Elon retweets, which means somebody else got on Twitter or X social, and they posted some kind of a conspiracy theory dealing with the richest man in Mexico. The richest man in Mexico, billionaire in Mexico. So Elon Musk retweets it. Obviously, if you retweeted it, you believe it. So it has something to do with the Wall Street Journal, and it basically kind of alluded to that Mexican oligarch had some kind of sway on what Wall Street Journal published. And because of that retweet, Elon didn't check the numbers. That billionaire was heavily invested in Starlink. He had a $22 billion contract with Starlink. What do you think he did? Through one retweet, that Mexican billionaire canceled his $22 billion contract with Starlink. Things are not looking good for Elon Musk. But we're looking for a recovery. We're looking for him to be removed. We're looking for a rebranding. And as I said, everything that I just predicted, what's going to happen now? Another prediction. When he is removed, new branding, new leadership will come back in. All you got to do is go to your course material, and I have a whole acronym on this. You got to go down to the very end. If you have the cheetah, I'm sorry, if you have the crossbow or the sniper AI, go down to the very bottom. One of the very last acronyms is either I may have to go look it up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, here it is. Dang it. Give me a second. Lost it again. Where'd she go? Oh, there's. Don't do it. All right, here we go. Come on, come on, come on. Apex and fail. Here it is. Let's show you Apex. Here it is. Big game hunting. You can either use the Apex or you can use the fail. And that's basically what we're talking about right now. Right now, Tesla is going through a fail. So you can literally use the fail, the FAIL. There's a whole acronym that can kind of show you where that the direction of that corporation. So once again, you can use fail right now, FAIL, the fall off. There's a definite fall off, 55% fall off. You have the audit where you have to go in and figure out, where is the value, where is the infrastructure, where is the supply and demand. You got to go through all of that. Then you want to do inventory levels. Okay, where. Okay, so basically what happened is you have price, you have value, right? We went over this. So basically the fall off, you want to figure out the fall off, is it price or is it value? And that's the point of the fail. It's not the value. We've already explained that there is so much value in Tesla. Right now, there is a fall off in the branding equity. That's where the fall off is, right? It's the branding. Nobody is interested in buying a Tesla vehicle because of the branding behind the CEO. But as I said, if you remove the CEO and you change the branding, that's going to bring the consumers back. So once again, you want to audit. There are several things that you have to audit. You have to go through the inventory levels to make sure that the supply is still in effect. Consumer, supply and demand, specifically demand. Do they still want it? Is it possible that you can turn that around to make them want it? All these things. And then finally, the liabilities. Like with this 55% sell off, where's the liabilities? And that's what we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk about the liabilities. But let me kind of skip ahead, because once Elon Musk is removed, you're now going to transition from the fail acronym to the apex. Notice there's two of them here under big game hunting. The apex is if a company's doing really well. So as Tesla builds back up, you're going to watch the apex, the affluence, the power, the exclusivity, and the Xerox. But as of right now, Tesla's going through a fail. So I just want to direct your attention to this, to both of these acronyms when you are analyzing not just Tesla, but a lot of these companies. Like even Nvidia has lost $1 trillion. Go through the apex and the fail with Nvidia. Go through it with any of the Mag 7, as they're all falling. Figure out which ones are actually failing or which ones are still apex. And that's what I said I was going to do when the correction's over. But let's talk about the liabilities, which is something that I did not consider. Saw a video yesterday that kind of broke this down. Never even considered it, because Elon Musk used his Tesla stock to purchase Twitter. And I've also explained that Elon Musk is not liquid. I explained this either earlier this week or last week. I said that every single thing that Elon Musk has is based on him leveraging everything that he owns. So when he wants to buy something, he doesn't liquidate assets, because if he liquidates the assets, he has to pay taxes. I explained this last week. So what a lot of these billionaires will do is they will just borrow against what they own. If they do want to liquefy something, because there is no tax on the loan, and then they can slowly, as revenue is coming in from their assets, as revenue is coming in from the asset, that's how they pay back the loan. So you think about everything that's going on with SpaceX, everything going on with Starlink, everything going on with Boring, everything going on with X social. All of it is leveraged against each other. But primarily, it is all hindrance on Tesla being the most valuable company, Elon Musk being the richest man in the world. But think about this. This is what somebody brought to my attention, which I did not consider. And this is where the liabilities come in. Because that loan is still in place based on that collateral. Well, if that collateral lost value, and I already told you that the financial institutions are blackballing him, blacklisting him. They're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason to call the loan in. Think about this, guys. Financial institutions are already looking for a reason. Elon Musk is in a very dangerous place. Because if they start calling his loans in, his entire financial structure will collapse. Because everything is leveraged on everything else. And I'm going to give you the equivalent. And this is crazy to say that the richest man in the world is no different than somebody who makes $100,000, but they have $1,000,000 worth of credit card debt. Let me say it again. I'm going to give you the equivalent of the richest man in the world and how he has structured his finances and his wealth. He is no different than a person that has $100,000 income, but has over $1,000,000 worth of debt because he's leveraged everything. And this has always been my thing. And I'll give you something that we talked about probably about a year and a half ago, because I was watching uh what's the TV show about the Mexican cartel? Well, actually, not even the Mexican cartel. The one from Brazil. Well, actually, both of them because they were both connected. Um,
Narcos.
Narcos was the one. And as I'm watching this TV show, and at the very end of the TV show, this man had money hidden in walls. This man had buried money in the backyard. So when they were hunting him, he would go back to these places trying to get money. Right? He basically kind of tried to get his family out of the country. But here's my thing that just did not make sense. And this man was a multi-billionaire. We're talking like hundreds of billions of dollars. And in the very end, he would go and try to find some of the money he buried, but the texture of the money didn't hold up to the weather, even though it was buried. But the moisture or the dampness, the money just fell apart. So he was literally completely almost broke. But this is something that I always said in my mind, like, if I have hundreds of billions of dollars, I'm gonna have a safety deposit box in every freaking country. I'm putting $1,000,000 in every safety deposit box in every country. How many countries are there? 200? 250? Think about that. $1,000,000 in every safety deposit in every country. Because keep in mind, that's not attached to anything. They don't monitor what you put in a safety deposit box. I'm putting $1,000,000 in a safety deposit box. I'm flying people around the world. Go deposit this $1,000,000 over here. Deposit $1,000,000 over there. I'm putting $1,000,000 in every freaking safety deposit box. I'm going liquid at some point. But this shows you the hubris of people that think that, oh, I can't fail. I'm the richest man in the world. But this man has leveraged himself so hard. No one would consider Tesla going down 55%, and it's not done. Tesla might go down to 70%. So how crazy would it be to go from the richest man in the world to dead broke? Any thoughts on this?
That'd be crazy if that truly occurred.
Crazy. Let's keep in mind, guys, he may lose the X social. Keep in mind, he bought it based on the collateral. And if he cannot make the monthly payments or they call due on the loan because of the collateral decreased in value and he can't put up new collateral, they can literally take that company from him. I'm pretty sure the same thing is happening with the rest of his companies, the SpaceX, the Boring, the Starlink. They're probably also based on some kind of collateral. They can take those companies from him.
Just like Duke and Duke on what's that? Trading Places.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yes, they leveraged so hard thinking that nothing could stop them. They already knew what that report was going to be. You got it. They went from filthy rich on Wall Street to homeless. And did anybody catch the cameo? Let me try to figure out the movie. They did a cameo. Oh, Coming to
Oh,
America. Coming
yeah,
to America, right?
we're back.
Mortimer, we're
We're back.
back.
Mortimer, we're back. Oh, I love that cameo. And I'm telling you, I would love for them to do a prequel on Mortimer and his brother. What was his brother's name? I would love for
Randolph.
Randolph and Mortimer. I would love to
Randall,
do. I would,
Randall.
I would love to do a movie called Randolph and Mortimer prequel
I,
because that
I,
could not have been the first time that they did that.
I've only seen that movie 1,000 times.
Oh my goodness, man! And and,
Uh,
and if Eddie Murphy kind of produced it or wrote it, man, I'm telling you that would be the funniest thing ever.
what
And I'm
I
hoping.
actually, oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
gonna
no.
say
Go ahead.
what I actually tell my kids and other people when they're trying to understand stock stuff. I'm like, there's really some lessons to be learned when they're on the trading floor. That's how I fully understood. I tried to understand how markets are shorted and all of that by understanding how they were making money off of that orange juice crop report.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep,
If you understand that whole little thing there, that sealed you. And for me, after probably the 400th time watching it or something, I was like, I need to understand what's happening right here.
Yeah. What I would absolutely love now let me clarify. Let me clarify something for you guys. I could not make it through Coming to America 2.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was so bad. I couldn't make it through it. I turned that thing off and just shook my head the entire day. Like, how could you make such a trash movie? And you got everybody to come back. You got everybody to come back. So he needs a redemption story. Go to the other direction. Do a prequel on Trading Places.
I'm sorry to tell you, Coach, in order for it to be a success, he probably can't write it.
See,
yeah.
that's the thing. I
Eddie Murphy is
if
no longer funny.
It just didn't hold up. You got to get. I mean, I would have probably told you 10 years ago Chappelle could write it, but like now, Chappelle can't write it.
yeah, I
It's
agree.
my opinion.
I'm gonna agree with you. Trying to figure out who. I'm not getting Kevin Hart. No, 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 no. But
Nah.
there's somebody you want to know. See, I don't know if he writes though. Do you want to know who I'm watching right now? Because before I was watching this Rife guy. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you who's the funniest person to me right now, who's killing it. And I can't remember his name. He's the black guy on Comedy Central with the braids. Does anybody know who I'm talking about?
Is that the guy that's like one of the reporters on
Yeah,
the Daily Show?
yeah, man. You because I see him every once in a while on TikTok, with the stand up. I'll tell you, the man right now is killing it. But I'll tell you something. It should be a joint venture, because Saturday Night Live had a bunch of people. They sit around a table and they come up with something. I don't think they did that with Coming to America too. I think they just kind of probably had like one or two people. And then you got to understand something. I believe Eddie Murphy can write it, but I'm going to tell you why Coming to America 2 was a fail. Because when you have yes men in your corner, nobody is critiquing you saying that's not it, that's not funny, that's not it. Everybody's just telling you what you want to hear. Oh, Eddie, that is it right there, baby. That was the issue with that script. Nobody said, well, no, because here's another thing that you have to understand about production. They'll change the script on the fly. If you're directing, because that's who the real problem was with the movie. The director should have looked at it on the screen and says, "Well, that's not really funny. Let's rewrite it and let's shoot it again." But none of that happened. And there's a lot of movies that have a lot of rewrites like that. Where you think it's funny, you put it on film, you look at it, and then even Eddie had to go back and look at it. But there's all these yes men. Oh man, that's perfect. Cut, wrap. So I think it's possible, but you need somebody that's on at that table read or at that and really coming up with some funny material. So I would bring in some other Saturday Night Live castmates. Bring in Dan Aykroyd. And that's what's really probably going to make. Um, and I don't know if he's still alive. Who played Egon on Ghostbusters? The one with the glasses.
Harold Ramis, he's not alive.
He's not alive anymore. That man was funny. At least on paper. Like his writing skills was because he's the one that came out with all of those Saturday Night Live movies with all of the castmates. He was the one that wrote most of those movies for everybody. As it came off of Saturday Night Live, he was the one writing. I would even bring in, and I don't come at me. I would even bring in um because he has a really good track record. Some of his movies just completely bomb. But Happy Gilmore guy.
Adam
Oh yeah.
Sandler.
I would bring it at, like I said, I would go to Saturday Night Live and really build a really good writing
I
writing
I
staff.
also like I think he's hilarious. Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. You see what I'm saying? Like if you go to your Saturday Night Live castmates and you really build a really good team of people that's going to critique you, yeah. Because here's how it works in those things. Somebody will say, "Well, I think this is a really good kind of scenario that's funny." What people end up doing is they keep adding on to it and make it funnier. And I'll even tell you that I've heard comedians say the same thing about their jokes because when they go to these comedy shows, they have their peers with them, so they'll get on stage and make a joke, and when they get off, somebody else will say, "Hey, man, that's a really funny joke. Have you considered this?" And then the jokes kind of evolve to be the funniest that they can be. Most people don't write the joke by themselves. Their peers kind of give them little kind of notes on how to make the bit funnier. Now, some people will take it from you and try to make it funny themselves, and we've seen those kind of scenarios. But I think it would be hilarious if they really got a really good writing team. Because I'll tell you something else: Beverly Hills Cop wasn't bad. It could have been funnier, yes, but it's possible to make a decent movie. But
Coach,
I'm telling you, man, if they go ahead.
do you think AI could substitute for some writing in this case?
I'm with you on this one. And I'm going to tell you, AI may not be able to come up with the jokes because I'm currently writing my book with the Singing Swan. I already got the synopsis. AI has already helped me write the synopsis, and it's given me a lot of suggestions, a lot of good suggestions and directions for characters, the name of the town. It's given me a lot of good things. So I think structure-wise, settings, AI can give you the actual script, like the storyline itself. But the jokes itself, you got to have like a team. But I think a prequel on that, and then you actually want to get actors or comedians that people like right now, and that's the reason why I bring up that dude in the braids. Like he would be a really good maybe a previous black person that they targeted. I don't know, something like that. And then what I see coming out of it is maybe you can do a Trading Places 2 where Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy come back in. They're rich, and maybe they're kind of doing the same thing that Mortimer was doing. Like I said, like I said, setting up the prequel allows you to create a new version. But like I said, I think that would be actually hilarious.
As
But
you were,
back on tap. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, as you were talking about that, I wasn't thinking about the prequel, but I was thinking about a part two, and I was like, that guy could be the son, and they got some kind of crypto scandal.
Oh, see what I
And
mean? That kind of thing, man. That's
and but
brilliant.
yeah, but Billy Ray Valentine and Dan,
Dan Aykroyd, yeah.
they still come back in some capacity, and maybe the business is in trouble or whatever
I
because
love
they've
that.
leveraged. It writes itself
It
almost.
writes itself, right? Now here's something else, guys. I'm gonna give you guys a little secret. I may have to get off TikTok to share this because this is exclusive. But I have a lot of ideas for movies and TV shows that I just sit on. So let me go ahead and get off of, well, I wish there was a way I can mute. Is there a way I can mute? There is a way I can mute. Let me mute TikTok. And I'm going to give you guys something that I've been holding on to. Give me a second. Let me find my volume on TikTok. Give me a second. Here it is. All right. So I'm muted on TikTok. So check this out. And I can share this stuff with you guys because if it happens, I know one of you did it. Do you want to know how Amazon can make a whole lot of money? And I have one of these ideas for every single one of the Max 7. An idea that would just catapult them. And you would think, Aaron, there's no need for Amazon. Amazon doesn't need any help. Are you guys ready for this? If Amazon came up with a QVC, a shopping network, they have Amazon TV, right? Can you imagine if they had a 24-hour TV show where they just sold products from Amazon?
I don't know why they haven't done that already.
Thank you.
Nice knowing y'all. I'm gone. Bye. I was waiting finally years. I'm gone.
$1 idea. What if they came up with a shopping network? And I'm telling you, it's such a good idea that they would shut down QVC and Home Shopping Network, which still exists. You know that lady on Shark Tank? They would either decimate her or make her, because what has Amazon done with everything else? What have they done with every other retailer?
Acquired.
Acquire it or shut it down. And if Amazon came up with their own shopping network, because they already have the products, and there's so many products on Amazon website that you can't access it all. You don't know what's available. Do a home shopping network on your own Amazon network.
A similar kind of thing like that would maybe bring or breathe life into eBay.
Even that, and like I said, I'm telling you guys, even Amazon coming up with an auction based.
No,
There should be
you're firing on all cylinders today,
all
Coach.
cylinders.
Yeah.
I know the automotive industry would love to see some type of spark, and that'll be a huge disruptor too.
These are kind of
I literally come up with something like that, though. They should have done that a long time. They
should have done that a long time ago. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with every single one of my ideas. I wish I had a connection directly to the board of directors or to the management. I can literally revolutionize every single one of the Max 7. I've been sitting on an idea with Uber. Somebody came to me with an idea for Uber nearly 10 years ago. These groups of Black guys, we met in Fort Lauderdale. I was just brought in, as almost like a third party. Like I wasn't a part of the original group. I was just a friend of the friend. but somebody told me about it. I'm like, okay, no problem. I know what I do. I'm a business consultant. So I'm the only person that showed up with a business plan. I gave a copy to everybody, and I took it a whole different direction. I took it medical. I said, we're not going to compete with Uber. Why? Uber owns 70% of this. Let me show you how to do this. Bing, 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 bing. And I came with an entire model. Revolutionized. I literally have it sitting in a file cabinet. I fixed every single problem in the rideshare industry. Every single one. I'm not even going to go into it. But if I was to able to drop that business plan off to Uber, I can triple their money. And this is Uber from 7, 8 years ago. I have a solution to almost every single one of the Mag 7 like that. $1 billion, instantly change the direction of your company. I can do the same thing for Tesla. My problem is that I don't have representation. Nobody knows who I am. Why should we listen to you? Can you imagine if Amazon came up with a shopping network? And that's the other part. If you do introduce it, you would have to have some proof that it's your idea. Because an idea, that's the one thing that I know about how this works. An idea is not copyright. You can't trademark an idea. You got to have something in place, infrastructure. So just taking the idea to them, you would literally have to have like a documentary video. You would have to have it on audio that you gave it to them. Go ahead.
Aaron, they do have a shopping network.
Where?
It's on.
Is it
on
literally
Prime
like
Video.
QVC?
No, it's on their Prime Video. You have to go to their Prime Video.
I know, but I'm saying, is it set up like QVC where it's 24 hours a day where they're introducing items? They have commentaries that will bring in something. They put it on the stage. They let you know all the good details about it.
Yeah, so there's a story. Amazon Live introduces an interactive and shoppable channel on Prime Video. So
how long has it been open?
The story is from 2024.
Oh, so they just did it.
Yeah, April 16, 2024 is a 2-minute read.
But they're not advertising it because here's the thing. I have Amazon. And do you not think that when I turn my app, because believe me, they're showing me ads for everything else. Should I not turn my Amazon on and at the very top of my Fire Stick, or when I boot up my Amazon, shouldn't that be at the very top?
Yes.
Come shop with Amazon. That's not there.
Yeah, I have Amazon and I barely use Prime Video at all.
Well, that's my thing. I use that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what I would tell you in that vein, Coach, is I've been watching a couple of shows on Amazon Prime, and right now they just started showing The Apprentice. So I guess they just acquired it, and it's plastered every damn where. Excuse my language.
That's my point, though.
So that's your point. I mean, to your point, if they really want to push something, if they believe it, they set aside a budget or shelf space, if you will, to say, hey, come check this out. So the fact that you mentioned this and nobody's heard of it, including me, yeah, they may as well not have it if they're not going to get behind it. They might as well not
have it. Like, if you're really going to launch that, man, I would push it hard. I would push it hard because I'm telling you, there are millions, if not billions, of products on Amazon. And they should be showcasing what? You got 24-hour period. And even if you did 15-minute segments in a 24-hour period, what's 24 times 4? Close to 100. You can do 100 products a day. Every 15 minutes, you bring in another product. And then you have these deals because there are deals. Like even on Amazon, when I'm shopping, 10% here, 20% here, 30% there. You can do these, and that's the thing about Amazon's business model is that they've always been about bulk, selling more, lowering the price, and then making up the profits in bulk by selling more. That's what you're doing on the home shopping network. I'm telling you, man, I would put it on billboards. I would advertise on regular TV. I would advertise in the middle of the night when the QVC's on. I would shut down QVC so quick and the reason why I came up is because I saw an advertisement for QVC HSN. They're whoever owns basically both of them are the same company now. it says QVC and HSN. So whoever owns it bought both of them. So they're all one company. And that's what gave me the idea. I'm like, well, if QVC bought HSN or HSN bought QVC, they kind of cornered the market. So who's their competition? Amazon. Well, why hasn't Amazon come out with a shopping channel? They think that because they have the website, they don't need it. But my thing is that if you are like let me give you an example. I would, and I've seen Apple TV. Apple TV is advertising in between the Netflix, Hulu, all of these platforms. There are commercials now. So why would you do commercials on Amazon where you advertise shopping network? Amazon could double their revenue if they really advertise that shopping network. Because let me tell you why. The psychology of it. Because I used to be one. I remember about 25 years ago when I first found out about shopping network. I would just sit there in the middle of the night with my remote control, just looking at every product. Ooh, that's good. I was buying everything. Because there's a psychology to it. Like if you're a shopping fanatic, oh, you'll sit there hour after hour just buy things. And you already know who they are because even me, my landlords, there's an Amazon delivery at least 3 times a week. His wife is buying Amazon all the time. Yesterday, 2 Amazon packages showed up. So there are people out there, there are housewives and people that are just addicted to shopping and the convenience of being home and just having it delivered.
I worked in college and like Christmas time and summertime delivering packages for UPS. And yeah, there were stops every day to certain
Every
houses.
day.
Every day.
Every day. Amazon, because the thing is, the reason why, 2 reasons. Number one, people don't know the products that are on Amazon. There's too much for you to display everything. But showcasing those 100 products a day, you get the people that don't realize what Amazon has because there are products that are Amazon package, right? Amazon batteries, Amazon this, Amazon that. And then I promise you, as people are watching the shopping network, another thing that Amazon wants is the residual. So delivery, right? Like you can sign up for where you can get napkins every 30 days or something like that. So they have those kind of things that you can do add-ons. You can transition people over to paying for a subscription. You can advertise TV shows and movies that are coming out, as you're watching at the shopping network, and then vice versa. Like it's just, you can really tell if Amazon was really committed to that shopping network. If they launched that thing in 2024, it should be plastered everywhere. But I would love to come up with an advisory kind of team where you bring us in. We have this one good idea that'll revolutionize everything. And like I said, I know I can fix Tesla. First
Actually,
thing is,
you could apply that platform in different other industries. And I'll tell you this much, because and I see where you're going with this. You can direct me, but with that platform that you're saying, like a QVC but on steroids, because products and services have gotten a little bit more advanced than consumers' knowledge and awareness. That also plays over into certain professions like real estate, like lending. Our instruments have gotten too complicated. And if you're in a business to business environment, you could use a lot more information on a 24/7 basis in different types of platforms that's more informative because it adds more depth. Because QVC had a lot of stuff they were selling, but there was more of a niche, whereas Amazon has a lot of depth and volume and a lot of technology that they're bringing, that a lot of these influencers that they're paying, instead of doing it out themselves, they can house all of that. So that platform can be used for the auto industry. It could be used for real estate. It could be used for lending. So yeah, the platform itself and how it's structured is a
So
key
so check
component.
so check this out. Here's another idea that I've been sitting on for about 5 years. No, more my eight, let's say 8 years. Hold on, let me get the time right. 2017-ish. So yeah, about 8 years I've been sitting on this idea. I met somebody about 8 years ago. First off, she was an escort, so you kind of know the industry she was in. This is before OF. This is way before OF was ever a thing. But she used to do cam, right? Like this cam type of thing. I didn't know anything about it. She was trying to describe it to me. She showed me, how it looked, and I'm telling you, business came to my mind. So how cam works is girls, and not even just girls, couples, guys, whatever it is. You basically set up a camera, um, and a lot of these cam websites or cam platforms are free, right? So you can log in and get an account for free, and you get all these rooms of all these different people doing different things, as you watch. And like I said, you got individuals, you got couples, two females, even the whole two males, all this kind of stuff, male, female, anything you can think of. Now, obviously, there's some things that they don't allow you to do that are just too far out, but for the most part, that's what camming is, right? You set up a cam, and then what happens, you buy these tokens, and then you kind of tip. The viewer tips with the tokens based on what they like, or they can go to a private room and all this other kind of stuff. But here is the business side of this. What if we came up with a platform like camming for business? Every genre you can think of. And this is what you were talking about: lending, credit, business consulting. Think about every professional arena: lawyers, doctors, bankers. Everybody logs into this business camming, all these different rooms, and you can get advice on anything from a real person.
Yeah, that's what LinkedIn tries to do, and a lot of these other platforms within their lot of I know medical, the oil industry with their executives and their sales force. They have all uh, within their internet platforms. They have these specialists for each different either department or phase that individuals can go to for advice. So yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well, let me show you the difference, because I had a little bit of a hack when I was a paralegal back in the day, where there are websites where you can ask legal questions to lawyers. And the one website that I was using called Evo, EVVO, and there were like three of them back then. I think there's only like one or two right now. But you can go to these websites, you post your question, and then like you'll get an email or a notification that somebody responded. And sometimes several lawyers will respond. Now, the premise is that the lawyer can give you some basic advice and what direction to do, but they're all hoping that you will choose one of the lawyers that's giving you the advice. But and that's kind of what LinkedIn is kind of doing. So there is no physical person on a cam that you can see and talk to. Because think about with the camming, if you really wanted some personal time, you can go into a private room. So my idea is different than that, because those people are not going to disrupt their business, right? They're just going to take those emails, or they'll get a notification that somebody's on the chat and they can text. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting somebody in your business that you assign maybe 1 hour a day, that you go and you sit in front of the cam. You may not get anybody there, but you literally have somebody sitting there for a whole hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and they're ready to answer any questions. We're not talking about AI, none of that. We're talking about a physical person that you can talk to, get your questions answered, get direction, get some consulting. And I'm telling you, and this is kind of what I do, you're showing value. You're connecting with them physically. And I promise you, if you were to hire somebody and put them in that room, you would literally increase your exposure. You're increasing your expert, your clientele. But if you came up with some kind of a camming like that, and literally a company would only have to show up for like 1 hour a day. We're not asking them to commit the entire, because even the cam girls only do like maybe 3 or 4 hours. And most of the cam girls are selling their OF. Like they get on there to advertise their actual OF pages. So it's the same thing. You can advertise your services, advertise your website. If you like this advice, come here, blah blah blah. I think a camming version for business would revolutionize everything. Obviously, there's some things you have to work out. Like I'll tell you some like this. Maybe have an AI response in place. So there's not a physical person in the cam. But once you get the notification, the AI notifies you that somebody's in the room and they have a question, then you turn the camera on and you actually talk to them. And I'll ask you this, let's put it in perspective. If you were in a room like this, like if you were in a platform like this, and one person was answering your questions, you didn't see them, they would kind of answer your question, because that's kind of what happens with websites, right? There's a little thing that you can click on, ask a question, and then half the time it's AI. A lot of people don't know this, that when you go to the website and they say, do you have a question for me? Half the time that's AI that you're conversing with. But what they will do is they will notify, and I'll tell you an example is a GoDaddy. GoDaddy has something where they don't have a phone number that you can call. If you try to call, I just try to do something with the courts a couple of weeks ago, and I had to do the same thing. I sent out this little message, this question, and they answered it, within 3 days. So what I'm saying is that if you guys had a choice where you were in two different rooms, you wanted some financial advice, right? And you had two rooms, in this platform. One person, you ask the question, and then within a couple of seconds, AI responds in one room, and a physical person gets on in the other room. Who are you going to converse with? It's a no-brainer. And here's all you have to do, because you don't need a physical lawyer in the room. You can assign it to a paralegal that can, because isn't that what the paralegal does in the office? They kind of do an intake sheet. What is your problem? What's your issues? And if it's got something to do with procedural, the paralegal can answer the question. But if it starts getting into legal advice, then hold on, let me get one of my lawyers on the line. So same thing with any industry. A banker comes in, you got a credit question, you got a finance question. Well, that's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. Let me go get a professional that can kind of give you more information. But you have somebody on the low end that can answer those initial questions. But in those questions, it's like an intake interview. They're getting as much information from you, because that's a part of, and I've talked to some of you guys, that there is one thing that I call data sell. Let me kind of give you the background of my premise. You have sell, upsell, downsell, cross sell, and then data sell. Cross sell is adding on, and I kind of talked about that with the QVC. You're adding on different things that they can do on Amazon. Well, the data sell is you're collecting as much information as possible. So now you can contact them at a later time and offer them your services. So that's what this is. The intake, worst case scenario, you're getting additional information where you can offer them something in the future. So I'm telling you, a platform like this is, first off, marketing for you to get leads. But number two, you're generating traffic. I think it's a brilliant concept. But it has to be a physical person. And in today's climate, that is so far away from what's going on with AI. These are the kind of things that I have in my brain. Like I said, I have so many of these things that can revolutionize industries or even corporations. But I got away from my original thing. We were talking about Elon Musk and being over leveraged, completely over leveraged. So that's another thing that I'm watching now, because there were people online trying to figure out the calculations. How far does Tesla have to go down for for that to kind of happen. But my thing is it's never going to get to that point if they actually do what they're supposed to do and remove him. And I think it's beneficial for Elon Musk to remove himself because he needs Tesla to go back up. Otherwise, his entire financial structure will collapse. This man is losing money from every orifice. So I'm trying to see we kind of got off topic, trying to see if there's anything else that's major happening. So here's what I'm looking to happen. Let me go ahead and get off TikTok. All right, Sylvester, we'll see you tomorrow, my friend, 7:45. So yeah, I would love to have like an advisory board where, because here's what I want. I want a lawyer. That's the thing that really kind of puts my idea, all these ideas that I have, is I want a lawyer that's in the industry because that's what gets me in the door. The lawyer contacts. The lawyer can be the negotiator. The lawyer can be the middleman. If you guys know anything about real estate, here's a little known unknown fact about real estate. When you're doing real estate, you usually have to get a broker, a mortgage broker, a loan officer. You have all these different people in place to get that loan done, right? A lot of people don't know that the lawyer can act in that capacity. You don't need a mortgage broker. You don't need a loan officer. All of those positions, the lawyer can take care of all of them. So now you're paying the one lawyer instead of paying 5 different people. So what I'm saying is this, is that I can hire a lawyer and that lawyer can be in that capacity. He's already there. He can type up any contract. He can negotiate. That's kind of what they do. So, but the lawyer is going to get your foot in the door. So that's really what I need. I need a lawyer that's in the industry though, not just a regular lawyer. I need like a corporate lawyer or a law firm that people are familiar with. But like I said, I don't have any leverage for even a lawyer to bring me in. But that's really what I need. And I did research. I'll tell you what I did with the Uber. I went and found, I know this sounds crazy. I went and found all of the lawyers that sued Uber. Sounds crazy, right? I went and found all of the lawyers that sued Uber over the last 10 years. And then I prepared an email to send out to all of those lawyers. Why? Because I know every single one of those lawyers has Uber's contact information. They would have had the contact information when they sued Uber. And keep in mind, I looked up lawyers on both sides, the ones that sued them and the ones that were representing them. And I was going to send out an email to every single lawyer in every single one of their lawsuits because I knew that they had a connection inside. I just never went and pulled the trigger and sent out the email. But I was looking to have a meeting with Uber to show them all of my ideas. And that's the one thing, is that if you can change one corporation, all you need is one corporation, one good idea that would turn a corporation around. It's the same thing as having a really good movie. Who's the person that wrote that movie? Who's the person that wrote that hit song? Bring them into my studio. You only need one hit. And everybody wants to work with you. And I got a lot of crazy ideas. All right, so here's what we're looking for, guys. We are still wanting our correction. We got 2 more days. I'm hoping, the reason why I'm focused on this week, let's just get it over with. Stop letting this linger. Let's get this correction over with. That's closer to the reset. Because I also believe, okay, so let me give you an example. The markets are going down, right? Natural progression with everything that's going on, all the sentiment, all of the fear, all of the uncertainty. The markets are going down. That's just what's happening. Well, what do we see Trump doing? Trump is coming in with different things, trying to lift the markets up. But what he's doing is it's only working for a couple of hours or for maybe like a day. Then it goes back to going back down. I'm looking for the same thing in the opposite direction. Get the correction over with. And all of this value that's in the markets is going to drive the markets back up. No matter what Trump tries to do to send that market back down, it's not going to work. I'm trying to get on the other side of this. That no matter what Trump is doing to make that market go down, there's so much value that it's driving the markets back up. Because that's what happens with a correction. It is inevitable. Whether it's 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, the markets are going to go back up. You just got to prove to the investors that there's money in the markets. And I'm telling you, if they see the value, if they see the money, they're going to start ignoring the tariffs or the speculation of the tariffs. Let me qualify that.
Yeah, you got a good
So,
point, Coach. I was watching, I'm seeing a couple of CEOs like from Walmart, Ford, all talking about, hey, we're well positioned. We prepared for this. We're not concerned about it. Different CEOs and different parts of different sectors starting to come out and with a little bit more calm. And so I'm starting to see a little bit more of that at Yahoo and Bloomberg.
And didn't I say that was what's going to happen? Because people are going to get tired. It's like exhaustion, crying wolf. Man, we don't care anymore. Nothing that you're saying is actually coming out anyway, man. You keep pausing and changing your mind. I'm done with it. Let me get back to business as usual. Let me take control of my company and make decisions for my company. I'm not going to listen to the president and what he keeps saying. Nope. I have value. I have products. I have a revenue. I have a supply chain. I got partnerships. Let's get back to business. And that's what's going to happen. Every corporation, after these quarterly earnings are over, after the correction's over, they're going to get back to business as usual. And they're only going to factor in what is currently in place. What's the current tariff? Let's just deal with that. I promise you this is the direction that's going to go. And the market is going to get back to being strong. People are going to get tired of this back and forth. Whiplash. You keep changing it daily. I don't have time for this, man. I got to get back to my business. So this is happening right now, but it's going to get exhaustive where it's not going to matter anymore. Just let me know when the tariff's in place. But it's such a new thing right now that everybody is scared of it because they don't understand it. They don't know the impact of it. They don't know the causal sequences, the dominoes. So we're all learning this thing of using tariffs to do this, and it's not normal. In my lifetime, I've never heard of it, and I've done history, in economics and finance, and I've never heard of a president using tariffs, not on this scale. So this is all people just kind of adjusting to something new, trying to figure out what it means, what is the outcome, how is this going to affect our company and partnerships and trade agreements, but after a while, this is going to settle down. Trump is going to continue to try to do this, and believe me, he's probably got more tactics to try to drive fear and uncertainty into the markets. But for now, this is where it is, but I promise you. And what did I say? Get rid of the quarterly earnings. Get rid of people with the speculation. People are going to get back to understanding that their company is valuable, especially tech, especially Mag 7. And that's really where it is. Remember we talked about the Mag 7 kind of control everything. When the Mag 7 gets back to business as usual, we know that they are the main supply chains, right? So when they get back to business as usual, they're going to get everybody else back to business as usual. And at some point, the tariffs are going to be built into the price. That's the inevitable conclusion. Once the tariffs are actually implemented in the cost of the product, and we're not going to see that till next month, when everybody starts coming out with their earnings, their economic events, consumer spending, all of that. Like I said, we got to wait until next month when this actually starts. Right now, it's not. Well, the causal sequence has started, but the implications is not starting until next month. And that's when the economic events and then the quarterly earnings. But that's what I'm waiting for. People to kind of get a thick skin on this whole tariff thing. I don't care about it anymore. Let's get back. And once everybody refocuses, you're going to see the market go back up to what we know it is. Because this is the same thing I tell you, it's fake. And fake things do not last in the markets. The markets will eventually go back up to its real value. And we have an opportunity to make money as we ride it back up, whether we put in long positions or we get in and out the markets over the next 3 months or however long it takes. So in a way, it's a good thing. Because if you missed that NVIDIA, think about this. If you missed that NVIDIA opportunity a year ago, you get a second chance at it.
I bought some more NVIDIA this week.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yep. This is a perfect opportunity. If you missed the NVIDIA opportunity before, you get another chance at it. Even Tesla. Once they change out the CEO, you're gonna see me start talking about Tesla again. Once they remove Elon Musk, we can put him back in. We can put him back in on the list. I told you to watch Broadcom. Like I said, I could probably. I'm going to do that this week. I want to put that Mag 7. Well, you know what? Let's wait until after the correction's over. When the correction's over, I'm going to put the Mag 7 in order of the strength. And you already know that Google. Well, like I said, Tesla right now is not even on the list. I don't even consider Tesla to be a part of the Mag 7. Broadcom has replaced them, but I'm going to put them on the list still. Tesla's going to be at the end of the list. Google is going to be the original. The worst company on the Mag 7, Google. And then I would probably put Meta and then kind of just build from there. But at the top of that list is going to be NVIDIA, probably Microsoft. I think Microsoft is more valuable than Apple. Then you have Apple, I believe Amazon. Amazon probably should be NVIDIA than Amazon, to take that back. NVIDIA than Amazon, then Microsoft, then Apple. And that sounds weird with Apple being number one. But I think Apple's somewhere close to number 3, number 4. I think Broadcom, even though that they have a lower valuation, I think Broadcom is higher than Tesla, Google, and Meta as far as potential. Like I said, I'm going to redo that list based on my predictions of how I think, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, where I see those companies sitting. But a lot of them don't have potential. They're stagnant. They're just maintaining their valuation. That's not what we want. But we have to wait until the correction's over and then the market starts building again. So it's a waiting game, guys. We're just waiting, watching the markets. And I'll tell you, you kind of see what I'm doing. Some of the things I'm looking up is kind of building the causal sequence. Some of it is entertainment. I just like the headlines. It's like watching a TV show. It's a story. What's today's episode? Elon Musk loses a $22 billion contract. It's entertaining. I have never done reality TV. This is the closest thing to it. These are characters in a reality show. Let's see how it plays out. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. I am going to. Oh, I didn't get a chance. Let's do that real quick. I at least want to show you the worksheet for today's masterclass. Let me share it, and then we'll end it with that. Give me a second. So we're going into stability, right? Stability. There are two versions of stability that you look for. First off, you want stability in your trades. And the way you find that stability in your trades is making sure that the market that you're trading has tangible assets. We don't trade anything that does not have a tangible asset. And then you get into the different types of value. You have asset value, cash value, intrinsic value, share value, and market value. And they're all connected as the value increases. But it all starts with a tangible asset. And if you want that security, if you want that stability, you want to make sure that whatever you're trading has an underlying asset, a real underlying asset. We do not do derivatives, options, Forex, crypto. We don't do it. So that's the first level of stability. The second form of stability is your circle of competence, knowing everything about that market. So you can combine those two, and you basically are developing your circle of competence on one of those tangible markets, learning everything you can about it. So I've given a list of the markets that have tangible assets: equities, bonds, commodities, real estate, futures, and ETFs. Based on these tangible assets or these tangible markets, this worksheet is going to give you how you can find competence as you're simulating. Keep in mind, that's what this whole thing is about: simulating, simulating, simulating. So it goes through a list of each one of these assets or each one of these markets and show you how to gain competence as you are simulating each one of them. Because as I said, choose a market, choose your niche, and then learn everything you can about that niche. Gain as much competence that you can. So as you go through this worksheet, you're gonna be able to do that. As I said, you can start implementing some of it now, but the benefit and the beauty of this is that this is progressive. Every time you come into your simulation, you can pull up one of these worksheets. Which market do I want to work on today? Which niche am I working on today? All right. So once again, focusing, hyper-focusing, concentrating all your focus, your attention, your development on one market, one asset class, one security. And then eventually, as you continue to simulate, you're going to be able to move into other markets, other asset classes, other securities. And that's going to give you a plethora of different ways that you can trade the markets. But it all starts with one. When you see these professionals that know so much, believe me, they started with one. And when they got proficient at that one, they moved on to another. So, like I said, go over this worksheet in the masterclass. If you have any questions, come back to the masterclass room. I'll answer any questions that you have. All right. But I'm also trying to show it to everyone else so that they can see exactly what we're doing in the masterclass. This entire 30 days is all about simulation. And the ultimate benefit of this, guys, you never stop simulating. Simulating is where you go to practice, right? That's the whole thing: protection, power, precision, proficiency. You develop your mastery in simulation. You don't risk your real money. So as we're giving this material to you, this is ongoing. I'm giving you things that you can use for the rest of your trading career. That's why it's called a master class, because we're trying to help you master the markets. All right, so I'll post this. I got a couple of edits that I have to do, but I'll try to post this in the next hour or so. And then we'll take it from there. If you guys have any questions on anything that we discussed today, anything about the correction, anything about the markets, anything about the Mag 7, for my students, anything about the masterclass, if I don't see you in the WhatsApp today, and I still want you to remember your assignment of predicting anything that you out there that you find, put it in your notes and write down a prediction. And then we'll revisit that in the days and weeks and months coming. But other than that, guys, please be safe in the markets. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow around 7:15. Enjoy your day.